The location where I be working with my project is specifically in the community of Sonuwepark. Sonuwepark is located more on the edge of the Campaign Plateau, and within my pixel C6 it is located more on the bottom left. On the Ferraris map we can see that Sonuwepark was then already more built up than Houthalen, which was due to agriculture. Furthermore, we see that it is a mixed landscape from grasslands to fields, and in addition Houthalen and Sonuwepark are split up by the E314. If we look at the current situation, we can see that Houthalen is now more densely built up and Sonuwepark is more fragmented. In addition, there are still heathlands and a lot of grassland, with also a mix of different woods. Within my pixel there are some important waterways such as Roosterbeek and Laanbeek, which flows from the valley and belongs to the Demerbekke. Here we can see that some waterways also cause flooding in certain areas like the industry, villages and nature parks. And in terms of drought, if we look at the impact scenario for 2100, we see that in some locations a greater drought stress will be present, more specifically in the higher areas where nature parks are located, but also in the more built-up areas. The water and drought problem in my pixel is caused more by the fact that there is a large height difference of 40 meters, which causes the water to run off quickly to the lower areas and cause flooding there, but also that the water cannot infiltrate into the soil. With my project, I am going to try to solve these problems by filtering the grey water coming from cities, eventually infiltrating it into the soil, and in addition also infiltrate rainwater, but also provide flood zones so that the water has more room. So the location I will be working around is the center of Sonuwepark, where two waterways will come together. More specifically, it will be just before the center to prevent flooding. At this location there is also a recreational route, and it's the aim to create more interaction with the center of Sonuwepark. The project I am going to apply consists of two systems that try to solve the water problem and drought problem on two different levels. First at a more landscape level and second at a more urban level. One focuses on the drought problem and the other one on the water problem. The system on a more landscape-like level will try to counter the water problem in the center of Sonuwepark. This will involve the introduction of a dam and additional extra flooding zones, which is located at a lower part between the buildings. The first part of this landscape-like system is a dam, and this will ensure that the water is slowed down and can be drained in a more controlled manner. In addition, it will also hold the water, and the dam will then become the final new bicycle route. Throughout the landscape, more natural dikes are already present, and by expanding these more, a flood zone is created at different levels. This will give the water more space and change the landscape depending on the water levels, which in turn will lead to a different use. The project adapts to different periods. In the summer it will be a drier period and the water will be lower. In the weather periods such as winter, the water needs more space and can therefore overflow. The project can therefore also absorb large peaks of flooding. Thus, the project can be used in any period but requires a change in use. In the dry periods, it can be used as a space for recreation such as walking, picnicking and as a nature park, but can also be used to hold events. And in the more weather periods, it still can serve as a water park. In addition to the more scenic level, the project also responds to the more urban. This is split up into 3 zones and will focus more on solving the drought problem. The water will also be infiltrated. In addition, the park will be connected to the center so that it can be accessed from here as well. In order to reduce flooding in the center, this water is diverted to filter zones where the grey water and the rainwater are collected and filtered. The water then flows further into the infiltration zones where it can be absorbed into the soil. If there is more nuisance, the water can flow back into the Roosterbeek. On this image you can see the Roosterbeek in case of more flooding, for example, where the water will be a bit higher then, and on the left side the infiltration zone. Within the more urban level, a connection is provided between the center of Sonuwepark and the project. In addition, this can be linked to new projects that will be carried out in the future. In Sonuwepark, the Roosterbeek will be opened up, and this can then continue into my project, so that these two projects becomes one. And here you can see an overall picture of the project, where you can see that the park is connected with the center of Sonuwepark and also the surrounding areas, but also the bicycle street that is part of the bicycle route. And in the future, the project can be applied in different places and connected with the bicycle route network to become a network of parks. Eventually, it will be applied on a smaller scale, depending on the different scales of the villages and also on their size of the water and drought problem.